My mentor, Travis, has to remind me every once in a while. He says, Ryan, no one person can make all the money in the world. And we remind ourselves this whenever we have a new idea that we want to pursue. Because as entrepreneurs, we have ideas every 5 seconds or so. And a lot of entrepreneurs pursue all of them, and they never get any traction. And then there's other entrepreneurs, or what I would call entrepreneurs, people who want to get off the sidelines and create something, but just can't decide what business to start. The truth is, any one business that you go all in on is gonna be successful. So tip number 1, pick the business that you are excited enough to go all in on, because you can make just about anything work. With that in mind, there are some ideas that I wish I had time to pursue. There's ideas that come up over and over and over again, and I think somebody should do that. So I want to give you 4 businesses that I wish I had time to start. And if you decide to run with any of these, they'll probably work. And there's investors like me who would love to back you on ideas like this. So let's dive into 4 business ideas that will be successful. I just don't have time to start them. The first idea that I wish I had time to start is a protein baking company. I'm shocked that this doesn't exist right now. There's a few companies who have tried it a little bit. For example, Kodiak Cakes has protein pancakes and protein muffins, and they've done a great job, and they've exploded. They're probably a 9-figure valuation at this point, and they came out of nowhere because they took a high protein version of a common product, pancakes, and they made it taste really good. But I can't understand why somebody isn't doing this across the board with other popular baking products. I think the closest company that has come to this is actually Quest. Quest developed their protein line and all of their flavors to complement baking. So one of the reasons why Quest got acquired for $1 billion is because a bunch of people like me buy their protein powder and mix it into recipes. They made that popular. But we can go one step further and have the pre-made mixes for muffins and cookies and cake mixes and frostings and banana bread and pumpkin bread, and I'm getting hungry. If you made high protein versions of those products, you could be the high protein Betty Crocker. That's interesting to me. That's cool to me. The margins on that product would be higher than the competitors because there's a specific market for them, and there's demand for it. And food companies have really high valuations. They're easy to raise money for. They're easy to get customers for. Anytime you do a healthier version of a common product, there's a market for that, and there's investors for that, and it's easy to get distribution and awareness for that. So if I had all the time in the world, I would develop a high protein baking company that went to replace a lot of the Betty Crocker formulation. So I would suggest that you look at Betty Crocker, Food Stirs, and all these other baking companies and say, could we make high protein versions of this? And it wouldn't be that hard. You use a blend of casein, whey, inky seed, pea protein, rice protein, even egg protein. Some combination of that is gonna be ideal for baking each product, and you use that as the base ingredient for your natural sweeteners and flavors. So you use monk fruit and stevia. You can use sucralose if you don't wanna be a natural company. That's all fine. And you can have a banana bread mix that tastes like the real thing, and it would be twice the price of everybody else, but you'd have a market for it. And you could do it with pumpkin bread, and you could do it with cake mix, you can do it with chocolate chip cookies, you can do it with anything you want. I don't understand why somebody hasn't already done this. But if you do it, I'm pretty confident it's gonna work. By the way, I just gave you the entire formula for that business. Go make those 4 products, launch them on Amazon, run Instagram ads, sponsor a few influencers. You'll have no problem raising money at a $2 to $5 million valuation to seed that thing. And that would be an 8-figure exit really quickly. And we're just starting. I have 3 more of these things I'm gonna give you. Have you liked this video yet? Is the like button gray or is it blue? You should be canceled. You should be canceled. Oh, you just liked the video. All right, you're uncanceled. All right, let's go on to the other 3 ideas. So the next idea that I would do if I had all the time in the world is I would buy content sites. Content sites meaning blogs and info sites and real like the WebMDs of the world that are just these massive information sources. And I would buy them up in droves. And I would raise money or get bank debt, and I would go buy these businesses and I would do things to them in order to make them more profitable. For example, there are tons of content sites out there that only make their money with Google ads and Amazon links. A lot, by the way, this is why you see so many stupid fake news clickbait sites, because all they do is they're trying to get you to click on the link and then they're selling advertising on there based on the number of views that they get. It's a BS model. That model should go away. And it's gonna go away, by the way. There are other better ways to monetize eyeballs than by selling advertising. So I love the idea of buying up content sites that only make their money with advertising and then doing things to them to make them more profitable. You want to buy these deep content sites that are industry leaders that a lot of people are going to for information. And then what you want to do is build lists around them, email lists, and you capture that data so you have a following from that website. And then you can sell whatever you want. You can sell memberships, you can sell affiliate products, you can sell your own products, you can sell advertising in the email, you can do whatever you want. But there's this wonderful asset that people have, which is the traffic coming from loyal visitors, search engine optimization, referrals on social media. That's real organic traffic that's being under monetized because it's just being used to sell advertising. That's an inferior model. And that model is probably gonna go away or at least come down in costs over time. So build a real community around those info sites. Launch real products around those info sites. Like, I teach a lot of e-commerce. There's so much money and opportunity in starting e-commerce brands around content sites. So if you bought a content site and then you built an email list to capture those followers, and then you launched a physical products brand, oh my goodness. Like, we just printed money. That makes me want to stop everything I'm doing and go do that. That model will work. That model would crush. By the way, if you want to see some of the markets that I think are going to explode over the next couple of years, we did a whole video about business trends and new niche markets that are booming and I think are going to continue to boom. And you can click around this video in order to watch that one. Business idea number 3. I've actually considered doing this 6 or 7 times and just never pulled the trigger. It's a physical product brand, a supplement company that specializes in mushroom blends, and you call it fungi mushrooms. F-U-N-G-U-Y mushrooms. Fungi mushrooms. If you don't get the pun, you shouldn't start this business. I actually was on the mushroom train before mushrooms were cool and not the psychedelic ones. I mean, back in the 2009, 2010, I discovered that mushrooms could supposedly be an immune booster. I don't even know if that's true, but I read somebody that told me that that was true. And so I started experimenting with different mushroom blends and reishi and maitake and lion's mane and all these mushrooms that are kind of commonplace now were an emerging trend back then. But it became really obvious to me that the trend was going to be creating blends of that. And so we have some of that now where Host Defense is I think they were just valued at $60 million. Host Defense is a mushroom supplement company that they dominate the marketplace, but like their blends are nothing special. I would suggest that whoever starts this company does functional blends of mushrooms. There should be a testosterone booster where the primary ingredients are mushrooms. There should be an immune booster where the primary ingredients are mushrooms. There should be an energy booster where the primary ingredients are mushrooms. The company that comes closest to this is Four Sigmatic. Four Sigmatic does some focus blends. They might do an immune booster, but they're all instant. Like they're all hot chocolate. They're coffee mixes. And that's awesome. Like they do a great job at this. Don't try to be Four Sigmatic. Be a real supplement company where the primary ingredients are mushrooms, and call it fungi mushrooms. Here's a cool tip. Sometimes going into a market that's already established, that's already booming, and just doing something that catches the existing market's attention, like just a cheeky, sarcastic brand, like that's enough to get market share in order for you to have a 7 or an 8-figure business. And idea number 4, full disclosure, I might actually do this one. If I had nothing else going on, I would start a business that bought land and built business workshop space on them. So this is my house. We're in my house right now. Can you see the room behind me? The room behind me has some whiteboards in it, has a conference table in it. This is where we have our masterminds. When I have clients in, when companies that I've invested in are coming in to work with me for a day, when I have a workshop here, we're in that room. It's a perfect workshop room. And this, as strange as it is, like this entire floor that we're on right now is built out to be a workspace. And since there's no official, like no one needs to be in an office anymore, temporary office spaces, especially for workshops and masterminds and like stuff you want to do high end, like there's no real good places to do them. And if you look on VRBO or HomeAway or Airbnb, when you're doing a business setting, there's not a whole lot of inventory there. But a lot of people who are renting for 5 days, 3 days, 7 days are looking specifically for workshop space. So still to this day, a lot of workshops or mini conferences are done from hotel rooms, hotel spaces, hotel conference areas, which are expensive, they're clunky, no one likes them, they're stuffy. So I would buy up land with a house on it, and I mean like 10 acres or more, and I would redo the house to be a workshop space. So there's one that came up for sale here in Austin, Texas recently that had 2 houses on it, and it had a pool house. Pool, and then the pool house. So I was like, oh, easy. Let's just take the pool house, put a big conference table in there, add whiteboards, and then you've got 2 houses, one for the host and one for the client. Perfect workshop space. The people who do $25,000 one-on-ones would pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a night to rent that space. And that gives you a very clear client base as well for you to target. So you're not trying to make it a vacation rental for everybody. You're making it a vacation rental for businesses and for workshops. Now, full disclosure, I was on the phone yesterday with my investment partner. We are very seriously considering doing exactly this. There's been 2 properties that have come up in Austin, Texas. And by the way, like you can't buy a house in Austin, Texas. A single family house, like you can't buy it. Prices are absolutely insane. But ranch land and houses that are outside the city, removed from other people, or even luxury houses that are over $2 million, they sit on the market for a little bit. Those are the types of houses that you could very easily bring in some investment partners, fix up to be specific to high-end clients that are hosting other people, and charge an absolute premium for them. I love this business model, and out of this list, it's the one that I might actually pull the trigger on. I can't tell you how many people send me texts and they're like, hey man, like, do you rent your house for workshops? Like, no, I live here. But I should apparently, and charge a premium for it because they're all business friends who are bringing in other clients. So there's money to be had in that. All right, so those are 4 ideas that I wish I had time to start. And if you have time, you should start one of them, seriously. Listen, there are more good ideas than there are good entrepreneurs. And a lot of people who watch my content or want to be entrepreneurs think that there's a lack of good ideas. There's not. There's just a lack of people who are willing to say like, I'll dedicate 5 years to figuring that out. There's no hack, there's no loophole. It's deciding what excites you and committing 5 years to it. So if any of these excite you, please just go all in on it. People will support you, myself included. Hey, my name is Ryan Daniel Moran. I help entrepreneurs build 7-figure businesses that they can sell. So if you're an entrepreneur on a journey, please subscribe to the video. We'd love to support you on yours. And by the way, if you have an idea in you that you don't know how to bring to life, that's what we help people do. So we run this program called the Capitalism Incubator. The Capitalism Incubator is a process for getting clear on your vision and launching profitably. And then we bring in our network and our resources and the people that we know who actually support you, whether it's with capital or it's exposure, because we bring in influencers and promoters. We have a board of advisors that will literally help you with the business. So if you have a idea that you want to bring to life, you can find out what we do inside of the incubator over at capitalism.com/inc. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Hope you found value in it. Let me know in the comments which of these ideas was your favorite, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.